Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Magnitude or extent. A building of vast proportions. The relation between things, or parts of things, with respect to their comparative quantity, magnitude, or degree. An inordinate proportion of the book is given over to quotations. Harmonious arrangement or relation of parts or elements within a whole, as in a design. Balance among the parts of something. Adjust in size relative to other things. Give pleasant proportions to. The quotient obtained when the magnitude of a part is divided by the magnitude of the whole. A construct whereby objects or individuals can be distinguished. Magnitude or extent. Indicate the dimensions on. These techniques permit us to dimension the human heart. One of three Cartesian coordinates that determine a position in space. Shape or form to required dimensions. The magnitude of something in a particular direction, especially length or width or height. The relation between things, or parts of things, with respect to their comparative quantity, magnitude, or degree. The relative magnitudes of two quantities, usually expressed as a quotient. A wheel that regulates the rate of movement in a machine, especially a wheel oscillating against the hairspring of a timepiece to regulate its beat. Mathematics. An attribute of a shape or relation. Exact reflection of form on opposite sides of a dividing line or plane. The seventh sign of the zodiac. The sun is in this sign from about September 23rd to October 22nd. Harmonious arrangement or relation of parts or elements within a whole, as in a design. In all perfectly beautiful objects there is found the opposition of one part to another in a reciprocal balance. A weight that balances another weight. Equality of distribution. Something left after other parts have been taken away. He took what he wanted and I got the balance. Astrology. A person who is born while the sun is in Libra. Hold or carry in equilibrium. Bring into balance or equilibrium. She has to balance work and her domestic duties. A scale for weighing, depends on pull of gravity. A state of equilibrium. Be in equilibrium. Compute credits and debits of an account. Equality between the totals of the credit and debit sides of an account. The difference between the totals of the credit and debit sides of an account. Harmonious arrangement or relation of parts or elements within a whole, as in a design. A ratio of two quantities that is constant. Mathematics. An attribute of a shape or relation. Exact reflection of form on opposite sides of a dividing line or plane. Physics. The property of being isotropic, having the same value when measured in different directions. Balance among the parts of something. A number assigned to the ratio of two quantities. Two quantities are of the same order of magnitude if one is less than 10 times as large as the other. The number of magnitudes that the quantities differ is specified to within a power of 10. Relative importance. A problem of the first magnitude. The property of relative size or extent, whether large or small. They tried to predict the magnitude of the explosion. A relation between magnitudes. A relation between magnitudes. The act of arranging and adapting a piece of music. The spatial property of the way in which something is placed. The arrangement of the furniture. The thing arranged or agreed to. They made arrangements to meet in Chicago. A piece of music that has been adapted for performance by a particular set of voices or instruments. An organized structure for arranging or classifying. He changed the arrangement of the topics. An orderly grouping, of things or persons, considered as a unit, the result of arranging. A flower arrangement. The spatial property of the way in which something is placed. The placement of the chairs. The act of putting something in a certain place. Contact established between applicants and prospective employees. The agency provided placement services. Equality of distribution. A sensory system located in structures of the inner ear that registers the orientation of the head. Equality of distribution. A chemical reaction and its reverse proceed at equal rates. A stable situation in which forces cancel one another. Contrast with equal weight or force. A weight that balances another weight. Adjust for. Equality of distribution. A compensating equivalent. Oppose and mitigate the effects of by contrary actions. Adapt or conform oneself to new or different conditions. We must adjust to the bad economic situation. Place in a line or arrange so as to be parallel or straight. Alter or regulate so as to achieve accuracy or conform to a standard. Decide how much is to be paid on an insurance claim. Make correspondent or conformable. An unofficial association of people or groups. The smart set goes there. Get ready for a particular purpose or event. Set up an experiment. Several exercises intended to be done in series. He did 4 sets of the incline bench press. Representation consisting of the scenery and other properties used to identify the location of a dramatic production. The sets were meticulously authentic. A relatively permanent inclination to react in a particular way. The set of his mind was obvious. Disappear beyond the horizon. The sun sets early these days. Decide upon or fix definitely. Put or set, seeds, seedlings, or plants, into the ground. Establish as the highest level or best performance. Set a record. Urge to attack someone. Set down according to a plan. A carefully laid table with places set for 4 people. Usually followed by to, or for, on the point of or strongly disposed. We are set to go at any time. Converted to solid form, as concrete. Make ready or suitable or equip in advance for a particular purpose or for some use, event, etc. Determined or decided upon as by an authority. The time set for the launching. Equip with sails or masts. Insert a nail or screw below the surface, as into a countersink. Locate. The film is set in Africa. Fixed and unmoving. With eyes set in a fixed glassy stare. Put into a certain place or abstract location. Adapt for performance in a different way. Set this poem to music. Psychology, being temporarily ready to respond in a particular way. The subject set led them to solve problems the familiar way and to overlook the simpler solution. Become gelatinous. Situated in a particular spot or position. A house set on a hilltop. Fix conclusively or authoritatively. Set the rules. Evil Egyptian god with the head of a beast that has high square ears and a long snout, brother and murderer of Osiris. Arrange attractively. Alter or regulate so as to achieve accuracy or conform to a standard. Estimate. The process of becoming hard or solid by cooling or drying or crystallization. He tested the set of the glue. Bear fruit. Set in type. My book will be typeset nicely. A group of things of the same kind that belong together and are so used. A set of books. Any electronic equipment that receives or transmits radio or TV signals. The early sets ran on storage batteries. Apply or start. Set fire to a building. A unit of play in tennis or squash. They played 2 sets of tennis after dinner. Being below the horizon. The moon is set. Fix in a border. The goldsmith set the diamond. Give a fine, sharp edge to a knife or razor. Mathematics, an abstract collection of numbers or symbols. The set of prime numbers is infinite. Put into a certain state. Cause to be in a certain state. Set the house afire. Put into a position that will restore a normal state. Set a broken bone. Set to a certain position or cause to operate correctly. Set clocks or instruments. The act of putting something in position. He gave a final set to his hat. The descent of a heavenly body below the horizon. Before the set of sun. Make right or correct. Correct in opinion or judgment. Socially right or correct. Correct behavior. Censure severely. Go down in value. The stock market corrected. Punish in order to gain control or enforce obedience. Adjust for. Engineers will work to correct the effects or air resistance. In accord with accepted standards of usage or procedure. Free from error, especially conforming to fact or truth. The correct answer. Make reparations or amends for. Alter or regulate so as to achieve accuracy or conform to a standard. Correct the alignment of the front wheels. Treat a defect. The new contact lenses will correct for his myopia. Go together. Bring into consonance or accord. Sing or play in harmony. Bring several things into consonance or relate harmoniously. Bring into consonance, harmony, or accord while making music or singing. Write a harmony for. Go together. The colors don't harmonize. Bring into consonance or accord. Harmonize one's goals with one's abilities. Sing or play in harmony. Bring several things into consonance or relate harmoniously. Harmonize the different interests. Bring into consonance, harmony, or accord while making music or singing. Write a harmony for the number obtained by division. The ratio of two quantities to be divided. Increase proportionally. Scale up the model. Make smaller. Reduce proportionally. A proportion in relation to a whole, which is usually the amount per hundred. A proportion in relation to a whole, which is usually the amount per hundred. A proportion in relation to a whole, which is usually the amount per hundred. Assets belonging to or due to or contributed by an individual person or group. Baseball. A measure of a batter's performance. The number of base hits divided by the number of official times at bat. Ted Williams once had a batting average above .400. An extension of the baseball term, the proportion of times some effort succeeds. The salesman's batting average was 7 out of 12. Assign a rank or rating to. The restaurant is rated highly in the food guide. The relative speed of progress or change. He works at a great rate. Amount of a charge or payment relative to some basis. A 10-minute phone call at that rate would cost $5. Estimate the value of. How would you rate his chances to become president? A magnitude or frequency relative to a time unit. They traveled at a rate of 55 miles per hour. A quantity or amount or measure considered as a proportion of another quantity or amount or measure. The literacy rate. Be worthy of or have a certain rating. This bond rates highly. A proportion in relation to a whole, which is usually the amount per hundred. The number of cases of a disease divided by the number of infections with the agent that causes the disease. The number of cases of a disease divided by the number of infections with the agent that causes the disease. The number of cases of a disease ending in death divided by the number of cases of the disease, usually expressed as a percentage or as the number of deaths per 1,000 cases.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.